Hello, my magical friends out there. It's Margaret Brigham and Goddess, Magical Stars to Star, Kristy.
Hi.
I'm so happy that you are here and the first one. So how awesome is this? The first one to say the
It's pretty amazing. I'm like, oh my gosh, I can't believe that.
Yeah. If you would have,
I can.
Yeah. If I would have asked you three, maybe even 2 months ago, if you would kick off this Be the Expression storytelling circle, do you think that would have been a ecstatic, enthusiastic yes?
Not probably on camera. I've definitely, you helped me walk through some of my camera fears, definitely in the last few months. So, yeah, I probably wouldn't have done it as willingly.
Yeah. Okay. This sounds a little bad here, but I am just so proud of you. And, just so honored, because you know what? I know we have gone through these interview process before. I know we're from another planet. We've done this, we're in the deja vu, and we just want it to hurry up and, shake up, break apart, everyone wake up, what's on the other side, right? And it's slow process. So it's wonderful to walk through with this. So let me just go through a little bit of the intention, and then I will introduce you properly, because I know we did the test and people have already got to see your beautiful face and hear your wisdom. So, but I want to give you an official intro.
Thank you.
You're welcome. So yes, why are we here? Why do I want to interview you from the Awakened Magic community? And it really has been coming down to the signs and messages from nature, from prophecies. So for me, in particular, it's been the rainbow warrior. So when the earth is dying, there shall arise a new tribe of all colors and creeds, called warriors of the rainbow, who've been dedicated, unwavering in their strength and strong of heart, walking the path of heart, bringing the frequency of love, returning Mother Earth to beauty and plenty once more. So as Earth warriors, as Earth angels, indigos, whatever, you call that. I know I was a red skin in past life, and I'm a white woman this life. But I also know I'm a yogi, a male, and now I'm a white woman. So it's multi-dimensional cell parts of us. So yes, warriors don't have to face. It's just about standing up and sharing our stories, our strengths, and our hopes. So knowing that you're not alone. You are not alone, and we're shining our light. We're turning our lights on. So I also want to hold the intention that, and maybe a little bit of a prayer. So calling to our spiritual entourages to come forth, to channel through us the wisdom, to bless and protect us and our families, our loved ones, to be in the space of the mystery, to be in the space of allowing, and to be in co-creative process with the storyteller, the listener, in pure openness, non-judgmental space. And it's a practice. It's a practice to listen. It's a practice to not be a critic, to not compare, to not criticize, especially the comparison, because I want you to be also a speaker, right? I also want to interview others. And if you think, well, Kristy Lee, she's a healer and she knows all this, and who am I? I don't have a story. So it's just holding space for each other. It's holding space that we can show up, have a voice, be heard, be authentic, and we're walking each other home. And what's home? It's our heart, right? So it's a really big community. So, and to raise each other's vibration, and okay, so without further ado, I'm going to introduce you to beautiful Kristy, who is a soul archaeologist and a healer of healers. she's internationally recognized spiritual teacher and founder of the Wheels of Light Energy Healing. She teaches a powerful six-step process that will help you identify the shadow and move through the emotions and step into freedom on the other side. She has the ability to energetically retune a person's energy, body, spirit, mind, and has helped thousands of people around the world experience and remember their divine nature. From spiritual messengers exploring greater authenticity to people suffering from physical pain and emotional challenges. And as well for people wanting to transcend knowing spiritual truths to actually experiencing them as an embodiment. So thank you, Debbie. An honor and a privilege.
Thank you so much. That was so beautiful. I appreciate that introduction. Thank you.
You're welcome. Yeah, and we can share it at the end where people find you if they want to work with you. And
thank you.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. So,
thank you so much.
You're welcome. The first question I really want to start with this storytelling series that I'll ask everyone is, how do you lean into love?
I didn't, it didn't come through clearly. Can you repeat that?
How do you lean into love? So when there's chaos out there, when there's darkness, how do you let love lead? How do you surrender?
You know, it's really interesting. I'm going to share an experience that I had recently as an example, and maybe give listeners an idea about how it could look like for them if they were to try something similar. So I had went downtown this week, and there's this wonderful woman I had met a little while ago. She's got a salon, her and her husband, and they're from Kenya, Africa. And we hit it off really well. And she does her salon, like all of her eyebrow stuff and everything is with string. And I went in there and I was in her chair and I could feel her doing them, and it was so painful. So at first I was like thinking to myself, like, man, drop down to your feet, you know, and get out of this. And then all of a sudden it was like, I was like, no, drop down to your heart. And so I just took like my focal point completely off my face, dropped right into my heart, and it just like burst open. And it opened up like an experience where she started sharing with me a deeper level about her steps of coming into the United States and the things that she had to go through and her husband had to go through, some of her challenges. And then she opened up and talked about like her triumph with it. And that moment was like so incredible. And it was literally like getting out of my mind and what I was experiencing and just like letting myself like take my attention from right here down to right here and just allow it to open up to really experience the goodness of her. And what I started really thinking about was like, man, this lady is like adoring me right now, you know, she's helping me. Look at what a great service and how appreciative I was. And as I was just simply feeling like the appreciation, it was like her heart burst open and we met like at this heart to heart, really deep soul level. And it was incredible.
Wow. Yeah.
Yeah.
Feel it. You just like
it's like kind of interesting because I've been noticing a lot recently in my physical relationships that I'm very conscious of times that I'm operating from my headspace. And the moment I put down every wall and every bit of thinking I know anything or whatever, right? And I'm just there to open up to like experience the experience, and I just drop down and I start to see the essence or the orenda in them, that it opens up possibilities that I never even realized were possible. And it's just like, wow. and you can feel the shift. You can feel the shift going from here to just there, right?
Right. Okay, so you, I just have to point out if you will share what the word orenda means.
Okay, it means finding the spark of God in all things. Like everything's alive and everything has got the God spark, so to speak. It's got that life-giving fire in it. And it's in everything and everyone. And it's just seeing it. When you're seeking it, you just see it. Yes.
Yeah. And Kristy and I actually playing on the full moon. So, I just want to have her clarify it for everyone else. So it is beautiful. Okay, so that leads me to, and that's such a beautiful story. Thank you. That's a beautiful way. Yes, just a moment, drop into the heart. So what is the most important message? Can you see me? My screen just went blank.
I can still see you.
Okay. What's the most important message you feel passionate about right now that we as a community or society can benefit from hearing about? So that might be something that's, I guess I'm going to think about, as we are helping to alleviate suffering, what's enough for you? Is it the suffering of the people? Is it the suffering of the animals? Is it suffering of Mother Earth? Like what, maybe it's something micro, maybe it's something that your perspective of the macro. What is it right now, typically in this moment of history?
Man, if I was to give my perspective on the most important thing right now, right, is to give people permission to show up, and to give, like, no matter what expression it is, realizing that expressions are expressions. A lot of people call them aspects or think that they're fixed or that they're this way or whatever, but it's like we've learned to put on so many masks, right? And then we get into that cycling of shaming and blaming the parts of us that we don't prefer. But if we really start to look at them instead as it's simply another way that we express ourselves, and I can make that real simple because we all have, like, our best friend, we express ourselves one way. Our landlord or the bank, we express ourselves a different way. Maybe a brother, maybe the childcare, maybe a boss, the coworker, maybe a group of people, maybe your little sister or your big sister or your favorite aunt or whatever it is. We go through going to the store, the checkout lady, the time you're at home and you're going to kick back and eat the whole bag of popcorn, or the whole thing of ice cream. Who cares? You're expressing yourself doing that, or whatever it is. You're swimming, or just all of everything is literally just an experience that you're expressing yourself in. And so don't get so caught on the fixed nature of life. Really look at how it's so fluid and how it's okay to be able to experience the tears, experience the anger, experience the joy, experience the really close connections, and to do it unapologetically and not to continue to wish you were one other way, but just to be more in that state of allowance. And the more that you become comfortable being in that state of allowance, and the more that your outpictured world gets to be comfortable with you too. So it's just like really becoming the embodiment, right, of being the change.
Yeah, yes.
Yeah.
I love that. Yeah, because that we are both very aligned in our playfulness, right? And being that expression of the joy and silly, and that we've shared so many times about our parents and other people. Like, when are you going to grow up, right? What was the expression that you were always told?
Man, I can now look at, it's kind of like some of the ones that I used to really not like are becoming really strong strengths for me. And some of the ones that were more I've had to overcome has been like, not too bad for a dumb girl, or not too bad for a bull in a china cabinet, or those kinds of things. And they left an imprinting on me at first that I really thought I was stupid, and I really thought I was clumsy and had that. And so I was really kind of in a protective space. But what I found out later is that it was my dad kind of having a dry sense of humor, and he didn't mean to be harmful. It was just his way of expressing what he needed for me to learn the lesson that I'm not stupid, I'm really smart, and that I'm not klutzy. I'm just have to get, like, I get to walk with those baby wobble legs while I'm learning something new, but eventually I get to stand tall, right? And with my head up and my shoulders back and, you know, walk it out. And so it was like his way of delivering something to me that seemed like it could have been harmful, but really it's turned into, I can see it, how he blessed me by that. But it was really an overcoming and digesting, right? If it was true. Is it true? Does it have to be true?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Coffee or something. What was that? Wake up and smell the coffee.
Oh yeah. You can lead a horse to water, but you can't make it drink. And the one that kind of made me always, I have like a lot of Faye aspect, that playful me aspect, and I would get told like about my horsing around or joking or whatever, and he'd say it's all roses until you have to wake up. It's all fun and games, so you'd have to wake up and smell the coffee. And I would think like, wake up and smell the coffee. I like coffee, Dad. But it was his way of kind of telling me I'd have a wake up call one day, and he was right. I did.
Yes. That's why we are here, right?
Yes.
Yeah. And you know, I think too, you know, the wake up call, it is happening, and it, you know, people are being shook up, and you know, the rebirth process. It is long. I thought many have thought in 2012. Okay, poof, we're, you know, in the new world. And now here we are, 2017. We're still like, oh, you know, it's really long labor, but there's a lot to raise the vibration. Have them wake up.
Thank you. You know, it's kind of interesting because I feel like we're at I feel like we finally hit the tilt, and we really have been able to wake up ourselves to a point where we can start to create our own paradigm. And as we're bringing more of our unconscious to conscious, and the more that we're willing to really dig in and heal our own shadows and do our own work and integration, it's lifted the whole. And so even though it appears like we still are having that forest fire that's going through with a lot of dissonance and chaos, what's really happening is it's bringing it back into chaotic order. And so all of the underbrush and the things that have been squeezing the life out of the trees in the forest, so to speak, moves in and it burns it out and brings in the sustainability of the trees and vegetation that had the strength, but it also allows like the popping of the seed open, right? And that's where we're at, but you can see the remnants of the good. We're at that great tilt in humanity to where you can start to see the remnants of the good and then be the support system for those that are going through the beginning stages of their awakening and maybe through some of the dark night of their soul and what isn't them as it's falling further off of them, and they're starting to wake up to their own who they are, like whose path am I walking anyways, you know?
Right.
And yeah, so it's a really amazing time to be alive and to get to experience this.
Yeah, it almost feels like, and this is why I think I really want to, you know what, I was going to say, like, interview everyone. And so that's, yes, why I want to personally, but it was also, you know, sort of handed over to me, that, you know, living in this higher 5D, there's the poet Mary Oliver, and I've posted this in an email before, and she said, pay attention, be astonished, tell about it. So, you know, really that telling about it is yes, creating that future. And we are, you know, raising each other's vibration. Yeah, we're, you know, we can be up here, and then we can go down, and then we can go higher, down. So wherever you are right now,
Yes.
Right? We aren't alone. We don't have to hear from the
Yes.
experts. We can just share our stories. And I mean, you know, I'm asking you to share what's really important to you right now, but, you know, perhaps you could share sort of where you've got to where you are now. Maybe a story of just the beginning of your awakening. That's different, right?
Man, the beginning of my awakening felt like a death. It was actually back in 2002. Somebody that's very dear to me had committed suicide, and it came not as a surprise, but as a huge surprise, and it literally spun my entire paradigm. into a big question, but the pain was so intense. I didn't know how to process it. I didn't know where to turn. I felt very alone. It was interesting because I worked in the social service field, and I had always been able to help other people going through their stuff, but I had never really faced my own. So that was like the beginning of letting everything around me crumble apart. And I hit my own dark night of the soul, and in that I was highly suicidal. I was very aware of things that were happening in other realmly around me, and due to the nature of the person who had committed suicide and my freak out over that, it opened up the portals for the entities and what have you that were coming near me to be not so fun and very scary. And I thought, part of me, I was going out of my mind. And I ended up spinning to a point of really wanting to die. And when I hit the very base bottom and I couldn't escape myself, there was no way I could escape myself anymore. I literally threw myself on the floor and screamed out, like, help me. In that moment, it was like I lit up, the room lit up. I knew that I was with God, but God was bigger than me. I knew that I had never been alone, that all my perspective of always thinking I had been alone and was doing this great big walk in life, that it was a false belief. And I knew that God was love. I knew that God was love, that it was the most loving embrace that you could ever experience. And I knew that no matter what went forward, that I would be okay. I don't know how many minutes or how many hours or whatever that experience lasted. I just know that it changed the trajectory of my life, and I didn't have any human, level or consciousness to be able to put it into place. So I spent the next 3.5 years on a sabbatical and did a lot of like soul searching and what have you, and started to awaken more into everything being connected, walking into my understanding that I actually had the ability to heal and that it was very natural. I could think things and I could see shifts outside of myself. I began getting like, I could ask a question in my mind and have answers that were coming through. So it just like kind of like spun me into having increased my intuition or what have you. And then throughout, since that time, there's not just one layer that had to come off. There's more. So you get back up on your feet after the 3.5 years and you get moving forward, and then you find yourself at the next giant trigger. And when you're at that next giant trigger, it feels like, again, that next stage of death, that next stage of the dark night of the soul, where you literally feel like you're dying. You really want to die. I'm not going to lie to you. I've wanted to die. I have. In fact, when you and I met, I was at that point right then, and it was an absolute miracle. This is just how good that we had it set up for us in advance, because I was feeling very alone. I was feeling like I couldn't go on again in my path, and you sent an email, and I answered the wrong email, and you answered the email back, and the next thing you know, we were on the phone, and that was the birthing of us. And you did such a great job with me at being able to hold that space and that presence. And I want to touch on that for just a moment, because it's really important that when we have somebody come into our presence that's going through an experience, that they can learn a lot from what you did for me. You were the person that was able to, you didn't shame me, you didn't blame me, you didn't wish me one other way, you just sat with me. And in that sitting with me, you kept giving me the remembrance that you knew I was okay. Even though I didn't know I was okay, you knew I was okay. And the words that you were speaking to me was like, you're going to be okay. I see that. You're strong, And it was like, you gave me that life raft and that rope. And I knew that that life raft and that rope could literally like lift me. I didn't know it at the time that that's what it was doing, but it did. It lifted me up to where all of a sudden I popped up again, and I could remember who I was. At another layer as that old layer shed, and it opened up. You saved my life. That time it was like you answered your call and you saved my life. And so anybody that's listening, there is absolutely no mistake. If you end up calling out for help, you need help, call for that help. Help will always be on the way. And find yourself out of your own way when it comes to sending out an SOS, a message to a stranger, because I promise you, that's your angel. That's your angel that's been set there in human form. Send it. And then bare your soul. Don't try to hide behind your darkness or your hurt or your pain. Bare your soul. And just trust that the person that you get on the other line is going to be able to hold that sacred space for you. And if they can't, keep SOSing it until you land into the arms of the person who can, because help will always be there.
Beautifully said. Yes.
Mm-hmm. Yes.
Someone is calling right now. Someone is calling for these interview series to come. Mm-hmm. To be the expression, to hear, and then they can be.
Yes.
We just answered the yes.
Yes. Yes. Be that yes.
Yeah. So thank you, and I could definitely hold that space for you because your story's similar to me. And having I wanted to end my life, and most of you in the community I've already shared, and it makes it worthwhile when you know you can then share it and pass it on, but you don't have to go in the quicksand with people, right?
Mm-hmm. That's, I think.
I was going to say the birth, death, rebirth cycle. We're not taught in our society. Mm-hmm. The shadow is part of it. The dark God. It's always light and love. Well, no. It's not always, and
that's false.
Yeah.
Yes. Yes.
There's something wrong with us, but it's just we are nature, and that's part of nature. Watching the cycles of nature, and you can understand better. And, yeah.
Yes. And one other part with that I want to really bring forth is, even though you and I have built a very strong sisterly bond, and we connect both professionally and we connect very personally, is you were able to see me through my darkness, but you never lost sight of me.
Yeah.
So you didn't ever put a projection upon me as being damaged or broken goods or not worthy, or even any of that weird stuff about, oh, how could she be ill, or she's so broken, or she's been through so much shit, or whatever else. You never let the facade of my experiences be anything more than an experience. And you saw my divine nature bigger than all of that. And you kept holding that vision of me being that. And by you holding that vision, I can always come back into your presence without feeling small or shame or anything. And it wasn't even very long after I went through my dark night and came right back up again, when you and I actually would co-create healing together. And but you trusted, you saw me beyond all of it. Yes. You saw me beyond all of it. And so that's really important, is we let people forget like their brokenness unless we're talking about it to share with others in a way to let them know that, hey, we all go through this and it's okay. There's help there. Reach out. Let us help. Find somebody else if you don't, there's somebody there. And not to be ashamed by going through those darker times, because they're there really to help you. Yes.
Beautiful. Yeah. Yeah, and then, right, which on the other side is like, we can't, like, I love using the model, and that came many, many years ago, about the time that we're in right now, and so it's easier as a woman to see it, especially if she's given birth through a baby, and so if we only saw the pain, or only felt the pain, we would know the beautiful miracle on the other side. So,
right.
If you want to hold it for someone else, just know that they're going to birth something beautiful. And we're shown the images of the butterfly.
Yes. Yes.
So I think, my darling, because I think I only have 40 minutes on this, and I don't want to cut out. But I also want to share, as we co-create here, that, something else is unfolded that you said yes to as well. So I'm just going to share with us here.
Okay.
A big part of, what I've been doing all along, and I want to help other people do, and which is actually what it has occurred, is leaving a legacy, right?
Yes.
Yeah, so look at how it's just kind of unfolding. I said yes, but I think I was in the 5-day challenge, but, you know, I think this is part of it too, because, you know, we really are in the historic time that the kids are going to look back on. And anyway,
Yes.
so I'm going to ask you, free will, you have free will, of course. Would you like this to go, like, be part of a legacy, to go live when it gets uploaded into YouTube, so it can be open there for everybody, or you have a choice that I have it unlisted and it's only in our community, in our private Awaken Magic site, or the email. Or it can
no, share it. Let's get this message out. Let's let people know that they're okay, that whatever they're experiencing is perfect for them, and that they have permission to reach out for that help and give a little bit of insight to what we experience, so then it can touch another person and maybe help them too, or, you know, give them that idea to make their legacy and to share their story too. Share it. Thank you.
Good girl. Good girl.
Yay.
To get to know you a bit more and look you up, and where would they find you?
Yeah, I have developed Wheels of Light healing modality, and that's at tapintunein.com. So that is TAP, like you're going to tap on something and you're going to go in it, you're going to tune it in. And so it's tapintunein, TAPINTUNE.com. Or you can always hit me up on Facebook, Kristy Lee. And yeah, phone number also you can call, which is the 251-599-5820. Come and check us out. Yeah, it's really fun. Hopefully we see some of you there. Yes.
Girl.
Or join us over there with yoga and stuff with Margarita. It's a blast. Got us yoga.
Generators. That was in my motto. And yes, we've gone through, you know, the dark. And,
yes.
So if you want some of the sparkle, you want to sparkle on and hang out with the
yes.
joy. I'll also invite you to awakenmagic.com and be part of our community. Magic community.
Perfect.
For a year or so. It's been amazing.
Yes.
Thank you so much, darling. It's just been, yeah. I don't know what to say. Very joyful.
I know. It's like, show us, universe, how we're going to get together, and either her in the United States or me in Canada, because I know we're going to get to hug in person.
Yeah.
You're the best playmate ever, though. I'm telling you what, I love it. With you're in Canada and I'm here, you still come to my house and we have a good time.
Yeah.
Yes, I love you.
Thank you so much.
Thank you so much. I'm so proud of you.
Darling, thank you.
Yes. You're welcome.
And beyond.
Woo!
Have a beautiful, magical rest of the day.
You too, love. You too.